If you've ever done any mountain climbing, or for that matter, high altitude trekking, then you know, even if you've just driven over a mountain or flown over one in an airplane, you absolutely know that feeling of what your body does in high altitude situations. Your ears, they feel like they're gonna pop, right? And usually do. Your breathing can often become more burdensome. But now you add in physical exertion. All right, not so much in the airplane, other than having the drinks, or for that matter, driving across that mountain range. But in my case, I was on an 80-kilometer trek through the Himalayan mountains, filming Bill Burke and Noel Hanna, two expert mountain climbers who were there exactly for that purpose, visiting Nepal with two of their colleagues and a team of local Sherpas ready to push forth to the height of 7,000 meters to conquer that mountain that no one else had been to the top of. 7,000 meters, by the way, is about 24,000 feet for my fellow non-metric Americans. Now, had you asked me, I would have told you I was in pretty good shape and ready for the journey. But this would prove to be one of the most arduous adventures of my life, offering life lessons both on the mountain and off. I'm Jeff Oppenheim, and I invite you to join me today for tomorrow's journey. Burke Kham is a mountain located in Nepal, between Mount Everest and Mount Choyu, two of the most famous mountains in the world. I wasn't doing the push to the summit, but covering the trek from Kathmandu to base camp. I was on assignment, having accepted a job to film Bill Burke and Noel Hanna's excursion into Nepal from Kathmandu to base camp, and ultimately a dangerous scramble up a yet-to-be-climbed mountain. This was no ordinary trek, and I had to think strategically because, well, there was no second take. No, it was what we call run and gun in the industry. You see, I had to run far enough in front of them to turn around and film them as they're coming around the bend and get them in full frame just in the nick of time. Or dropping behind them to get that classic shot of them going over that ridge and ominously vanishing from sight. It also meant that if we, me and my other cameraman, didn't operate with full attention, it could be our last shot. And I don't mean just for the day, I mean ever. And no matter how far ahead the team got for the sake of the shot, I couldn't just shout, cut, and, oh, guys, hold on, hey, hold up for me. As such, I perpetually had this feeling that a baby elephant was sitting on my chest. So much so that I could not get sufficient enough air to, well, breathe. I've been thinking a lot about that lately during the pandemic, and how apropos that seems. I mean, after all, COVID is a form of SARS, which affects the lungs. We can't breathe. I've been thinking about it with all the civil unrest we've witnessed. Its very fire-starting phrase has been, we can't breathe. It's been a wrong-minded provocation for some of the anti-Asian attacks as of late. Blaming Chinese, Japanese, Korean, Vietnamese, anything Pacific Rim, even those that have spent their whole life this side of the Pacific, as the reason we can't breathe. And certainly, with all we have seen politically, inclusive of the domestic terror on our nation's capital, we have been left speechless, breathless. We can't breathe. All throughout that trip, I practiced a form of meditation, mind and body centering, to maintain health and dependability. It was the right conduct to put things in perspective, to monitor the journey, to measure the progress, to let myself know I was going to be all right. Now again, as travel was starting to lift, I decided it was time to go back to the mountains, at least the local ones, upstate New York. I felt I needed to, breathe, commune with nature, and in this case, seek answers, not just from nature, but with a visit to the Deer Park Buddhist retreat of the Buddha's Light International Association, where I was meeting with my new friend, the Venerable Huang, to discuss meditation, Buddhism, and Siddhartha himself.
In Buddha's teaching, there's a very important element we say that's impermanence. The pandemic just teaching everybody a very good lessons. You do not take it as granted what you already, staying with. You just need to always prepared, just like the scouts of spirits, be prepared. Prepared for what? Prepared for anything could be changed. And then that's how we could be grateful and cherish the moment what we are having. I think this is a Buddha, one of the teaching told us, you have to change your mind. A lot of time people will stubborn into our own wants. And then I don't like this, I don't want this, and we put the I in front of us for everything. And then so if we focus in our own, ourself, there's so many of them, so much of them, then you won't satisfy. Instead, you will dissatisfy a lot. But if we keep the I just away, then we can look into more picture where we'll have more room for others. Then you think about, if we could slow down our speed, our action, and then you probably will have more time to sense what's been changed in the outside the world instead of yourself. They always have some lessons in the bright side that we can learn. As everyone being kind of locked down in the house, but the whole world is breathing. And then the animal came out, the blue sky you can see, the water become clear, the air more clear because there are not much the pollution from the cars. So you can look at the bright side of that. The whole earth, the planet, got a chance to breathe. And then also, I think this is a good opportunity for a lot of people kind of like pause their life, rethink about it. What is the important things? What is real important elements that we need? Do we overuse a lot of things we thought that we need? And maybe we just keep something very simple, and then we still can survive. And then we probably cut down a lot of time staying outside, but we stay inside. And then a lot of people even got a chance to know more about their own family members. You can look at the bright side.
We continued our conversation while walking through the beautiful campus of the retreat.
In the Confucians, they will say, as a nice person, you will know how to be with yourself alone. Okay? Because as a human being, we get used to live in the society, in the group, with friends. At least we have our own family. But nowadays, a lot of family members, because the work, the job, study, we live apart. And then to try to fill the hole when the family were not together. It's all exterior, material. But if we look into the back original, the real truth, the family that's supposed to be together all the time, support each other, and then knowing each other, and then if you look at this whole thing, the pandemic, it seems like it put everything back to original it's supposed to be, right? And then not just, only the people's relationship, but also the bigger picture is the human being with the planet, with the world, with the earth.
In these brief moments spent in nature, where wisdom and the natural laws abound, I gained solace.
We should cherish about what we already have.
I regained my stride with each new step, taking me to new heights.
So that's why everyone is a future Buddha. For now, we are a human being. However, we do have the Buddha nature in us. It just someday we will cultivate it and then make it grow, become bigger and stronger. Then that's the time we reach the Buddhahood.
I am Buddha. As grandiose and even quietly blasphemous as it seemed to be, it informed and therefore was deeply empowering.
So when you encounter into some difficult things in an or difficult scenario, you probably will make some wrong judgment. But just pause 3 seconds and repeat, I am a Buddha.
I am Buddha.
Will you do something wrong and some bad behavior when you think about you are a Buddha?
I was given the blessing of my Buddhist beads, 108 of them, a sacred number in the faith, and a means to practice a form of thought and meditation. I was given my survival guide.
This book came out several years ago. It's called 365 Days for Travelers from our master Xing Yun. This is the wisdom from Chinese literature and Buddha's classics. Every one of us, you and me, and all those people living in the planet, in this earth, we are all travelers. We just live in this period of time for this life. Because in the Buddhism, the life is endless. We have the past, we have the current, and then of course, we have future. So life is never ends. Life is like a circle. It's not just the reincarnation. It's because we live in the 10 Dharma realms. We could become the Buddha one day. It's in the future. So in here, this is the book. I want to give it to you.
Thank you.
And then for you to have it and then every day.
But more than all of this, I received the resounding wisdom and blessings of the Venerable. This was the greatest gift of all, for it was nourishment for the body, mind, and soul.
Just pause 3 seconds and repeat, I am a Buddha.
Her words rang out to me on the beautiful and scenic trip home. I am Buddha. I started to think back on the many forms of Buddha that I have seen from all my travels and journeys, including one resource I had just found, or maybe it found me. I then knew that, like so much of what I had already experienced on my journey of healing, of recentering, of reawakening, that my next stop would be a place very close to me and my origins, or coming of age even, Brooklyn, New York, where I would sit down with a friend of mine, an artist, who had 108 takes on I Am Buddha. I'm Jeff Oppenheim, thanking you for joining me on tomorrow's journey and inviting you to not only like, share, comment, and certainly subscribe, but also to click on through to the other episodes in our Buddha's journey. Until the next time, stay safe, stay well, and stay enlightened.